He's saying that he's holding Coal India about 200 shares, which he's purchased at 245 rupees per share. He's looking to book out at the cost or low. He wants to know how long will this rally last. Kunal, you have an answer for this one for Coal India. How long will the rally last for Coal India, and what should Prasad do?
You can continue to hold. If possible, look to average Coal India. If it comes back closer to 180, 185 range, I think that's a good range to try and average it out further. But I believe that this is a strong rally which is coming across for Coal India, and seems like the stock should have more headroom on the upside. So I would suggest a hold and look to average further so that you can bring your cost down and can get in the money very, very quickly.
Okay, Saurabh, I'm coming to you for this next one. This is a question from Shaju, and he's holding Supreme Industries that he bought at levels of 1,955. Seems like a good entry price, but he's not focused on the short-term trends. He wants to know about the long-term prospects. How does it look based on the fundamentals?
If you look at the Supreme Industry, it is a very consistent company. I mean, on the operational front, the company has performed well over the last few years, and in the recent quarters also, things are business is improving. So I guess if you are holding for the long term, my suggestion would be to continue to hold. So it's a hold from me.
Okay, this one is coming from Sagar. He wants a view on Surya Roshni. If a part of it's a part of his small cap portfolio. He's bought about 1,500 shares at 502 levels. He's asking, do you see that the stock has potential to go to 1,000 plus targets? I'll come to you, Saurabh, on this one. Do you track Surya Roshni? A good rally coming in on that particular counter as well. So do you see it actually surpass the 1,000 rupees mark anytime soon or in the longer term?
Things are turning well for the companies and for the sector as well. So if you have a good holding period, I think the better days are ahead. So in my sense, yes, you can hold, and we may see 1,000 plus price on this stock.
Okay, pull up the chart for Godfrey Phillips, and it's had a stellar run over the last month. We've spoken about it in the recent past with Kunal as well. Kunal, coming to you on this one, we've got Balan, who's gotten at levels of 1,120, and I think he's ridden most of that rally over the past month or so. He's asking we should book out at this juncture.
It could be two ways, which I believe the stock can move. One is on the short-term charts, of course. The indicators are a bit overbought, so possible that Godfrey Phillips may go through mild bit of retracement. But typically what happens is when you see such kind of a rally which comes out of nowhere, frankly, for stocks, because it's not anticipated by any kind of volume patterns or price patterns into the stock, it generally indicates that there is a new wave of buying which has happened into these names. And these new waves of buying, of course, even after some intermittent speed bumps in between, these stocks, they tend to continue to rise up significantly higher. Now, since you bought at 1,100 levels, I would suggest that have a an approach where you can look to maybe book out partial profits over here. Wait for just about a marginal correction, say another 50 points, 60 points correction. If it happens along the way for Godfrey Phillips, that could be a rebuying opportunity for you. But I believe that if there is a bigger trend in the making, then the stock could head towards a much stronger breakout. Maybe a 1,500, 1,600 plus targets over the next 1 to 2 months could be possible for Godfrey Phillips post the moves that you see in the last 4-5 days.
All right, this one is from Vimla George. Is Kelpest a good stock to buy at current levels, and what are the prospects of this share? What's your take on this one, Kunal? Do you track Kelpest?
Not really, Cheryl. I don't track the stocks, so won't be able to offer any comment on it.
Saurabh, do you track this counter? Would you be able to offer any views on this one?
It's not in our coverage.
All right, then let's move on to the next query. Alex, do you want to take over with the next query?
Yeah, I can take the next one. We've got if my mic is live, we've got Kaushik Mitra who's asking about the power sector, and specifically he's asking about Tata Power. Is this a good time to enter Tata Power? It's been in focus, Kunal, and the entire pack I think has been buzzing, but specifically on Tata Power, would you buy at the current price?
Not buying at current price, but as I said, earlier as well, when we were discussing, many of the chemical stocks, that this is a short-term, event-specific rally which you're seeing into these names on the back of what has happened, to China. Now, that could probably play out, say, over the next 1 or 3 months, but the markets have been very quick in factoring in, those kind of, triggers. So the stock has moved significantly higher. So I think in the last 1 week, 10 days odd, the stock has moved up from 140 levels to 178, 180, where it's currently trading. So it's a significant jump over the short-term charts. You can start nibbling it, but I would suggest that the major chunk of the quantity which you typically should be buying should be at corrective phases. If the stock gets into a 10% correction from current levels, that should be a good opportunity for you to chip in more.
Okay, Saurabh, we've got a question coming in from Rajeshwari from Chennai, and she's asking about Apollo Tyres. And I think it's been a while since we've spoken about tyre companies. She bought a few months back as many as 65 shares at a price of 238.5, and she's wondering whether to hold on at this juncture, or should she move to something else? What's the view?
In the automobile industry, OEMs are really struggling for their sales because of the chip shortage. Every company is announcing 30-40% cut, kind of a production cut. And if you look at the raw material cost side, with the crude surging in, chemical prices going up, I think these companies are will see problems coming with respect to securing their margins. So my sense is it is better to avoid for the time being now, and if you can jump into the stocks like maybe capital goods from like Larsen and Toubro, or maybe banks like ICICI Bank, then it can be very good for you.
Okay, we've got a question coming in from Jairaj from Kerala. He's got Root Mobile, which he bought at levels of 1,980. And he's a long-term investor, he says. He's wondering whether to add more. Saurabh, what would you say about Root Mobile? He's already made a little bit of money. Should he hold on and add more?
And equally, markets have rewarded them. If you look at the valuations, I don't feel like putting my money into these kind of businesses, because the asking price, the stock price is way too high. Maybe capturing the growth which is going to come in the next 3-4 years. So my take would be avoid.
We've got Shweta from Bengaluru, who's asking, she's saying that she needs strategic direction on which stocks to invest in with a corpus of 5 lakh. So to begin with, and I'm going to go to you on this one, Kunal, based on what you're seeing on the charts right now, and there is obviously a whole bouquet to choose from. But if you were to say the ideal time to pick up stocks, and you've got 5 lakhs to start with, assuming that this is a long-term investor, what are the top 5 stocks that you would recommend?
Really towards large cap names, expecting that even if the market gets into a bit of a turbulent phase, assuming in the very near term, it's going to be a bit easier to try and ride these large cap names. So I think in that sense, I would first pick up M&M as one of the top picks. I think that stock looks extremely attractive to me. I discussed this stock on last week on Chartbusters as well, when it was at 750, 760 levels. So that looks attractive. Reliance Industries, of course, looks very solid on the long-term charts. And I believe that the stock should be heading towards at least another 10 to 15% upside further over the next 3 to 6 months. SPI, that's from the banking pack, looks attractive. So diversifying that as well. From the IT names, I would pick up either a Wipro or a Tech Mahindra. So I think these are the few names which I think the viewer could be looking at. And from the middle pack, you can add Tata Steel at current levels. I think the combination of these names could probably make your portfolio more solid and strong.
Okay, this next query that we've got is coming in from Mahindra Patnaik. He's saying that he has 150 shares of Cavi Seeds, which he's purchased at 515 rupees per share. He's saying this particular counter has been coming down from the buying price. So can you advise, should I sell this right now and move to some other stocks? What's your take, Kunal? Do you think that it makes sense for Mahindra to move out of Cavi Seeds? And if he has, then which other stocks should he look at?
we had a similar query on the stock, I think few weeks back, and I mentioned that this is one stock which you should look to exit on any kind of a short-term rally which you tend to get, because it's a sluggish kind of a trend for Cavi Seeds. So the stock is, in fact, even in a market like this, the stock is still below its 200-day moving average. That itself tells you the kind of trends the stock has seen in the last 6 months to 9 months. So I would suggest an exit and shift off to another large cap name. One of the stocks which I've recommended earlier today as well is UPL, United Phosphorus. Looks very strong, and I believe could be in for at least another 10% upside from current levels.
Okay, we've got an interesting question from Shivakumar, and I just want to point out, if you've got a question and you're not too sure about the time frame, don't worry about that. You can still tell us, and we assume that you're not in a hurry to sell the stock. So do tell us in case you want a view. Shivakumar from Chennai is asking about ONGC. Saurabh, it's a stock that has done incredibly well in the recent past, and we spoke about this at the open as well. Natural gas prices increasing is a huge positive. He's gotten at levels of 135. Should he hold on for the long term? What are the factors that could affect it right now?
The way the crude prices are behaving and the way the gas prices have revised, I think it is going to help ONGC to make good profits, and that is what stock price has been doing. So my sense is that yes, the days are good ahead for the companies, but the only problem is that the ONGC pays out a larger portion of its profit as a dividend. That is why the net worth is not growing, and the ONGC is not able to do good amount of capex in the past also. So this is the only drag. But right now, I think it is better to enjoy rally. Keep holding it.
From Abhishek Bhandari, and he's saying he has Tata Power 128 share, 120, which he's purchased at 128 rupees per share. He wants to know whether he should continue to hold or sell. Kunal, don't know the amount of stocks of Tata Power that actually Abhishek is holding, but the purchase price is 128 rupees per share. Should he continue to hold on to this one?
Since you bought at much lower levels, you have a lot of cushion in terms of holding power. So I would suggest that you can hold on to it. But as I said earlier, that it's possible that many of these stocks which have run up very swiftly in the last 1 week, 10 days, they could also go into a corrective mode. So you can look to hold on to it, assuming if your time frame is 1 year, 2 years plus in that kind of a zone. But if it's a bit of a restricted or short-term time frame, then I believe that you can look to book out at least 50% profits over here, and then keep on trading your stop losses and ensure that you tend to ride the trend on the upside as long as it lasts for these.
Okay, Saurabh, coming to you on HDFC, and this is the NBFC. We've got Avinash from Mumbai, who's bought in at levels of 2,749. He's looking at the next 1 to 2 years. Should he hold on? Should he add at this juncture?
I think the way the results are coming and the way the guidance is coming, the management is saying that the demand is coming from the bigger cities like Mumbai, NCR, Delhi region. Apart from the tier 2, tier 3 cities, the average loan ticket size is going up. There is a good amount of traction in the real estate industry. I mean, I think we are at the cusp of a good pickup in the real estate sector, which has just started. And the beneficiaries will be housing finance companies. So my take would be yes, it is better to hold HDFC. I think in a 1 year's time, you'll make a good amount of money from your investment.
Palani, and he wants a view on ultramarine and pigments. Kunal, do you track this counter, ultramarine and pigments? How does it look on the charts? If Mr. Palani wants to enter at this particular juncture, can he go ahead?
Well, I think you should definitely look to avoid these kind of names. The average trading volume for these stocks is very, very low. Now, if I'm not wrong, the stock is priced at 69 rupees or 70 rupees. It's just broken past above its 200 moving average, I think 2-3 days back. But the average trading volume for this stock is just about 650 shares for such a low price stock. So that itself tells you that I would recommend to stay away from these names. And I think it's time to try and shift towards large cap names. So if you're looking at large cap stocks, I would recommend either a UPL at current levels or maybe even a Tata Steel at current levels from at least the next 3 months to 6 months plus kind of a time horizon.
Okay, one of our most loyal viewers, Ganesh from Mumbai, is asking a question about Tejas Networks. 150 shares bought at levels of 545, making a bit of money. Kunal, should he hold on or should he sell at this juncture?
A phenomenal stock. I remember tracking the stock when it was at 160, 170, just about some 4-5 months back as well. It showed signs of a very strong and a solid breakout. But I think in the last 4 months, it's gone through a revolution from 170, approximately. It's now almost at $570. So looks quite strong on the charts. And I believe that if you are looking to buy, it could be a good buy even at current levels. And possibly if the stock enters into a correction of 100 rupees odd, so from 470, 475 could be a second ideal level where you can look to enter Tejas Network.
Okay, this one is from Radesh and he wants a view on IRCTC for the longer term. Saurabh, any guesses on this particular firm? IRCTC for the longer term, absolutely great stock to be in, or do you think that not that great a counter that you should be invested for the longer term?
I think it is a technology story. I mean, the kind of valuation has been given, IRCTC is trading at. I mean, at the same time, the prospects looks brighter. So if you are having in your portfolio, keep holding it. It will only create wealth for you.
Okay, so Merlin's got a very good question. Unfortunately, Merlin, so you're a new investor, you're a college student, you're looking to invest. We did take a question to Kunal about how you can start up the stocks that you can perhaps look at initially. Do make a difference between investing and trading, because you mentioned both in your message. All right, it's time to hit the rapid fire segment. We've got Kunal as well as Saurabh, who are familiar with the concept. We're going to throw questions at you, gentlemen. Do answer as quickly as you possibly can. The first one is coming in from Mr. J.D. Shukla. Aurobindo Pharma is the stock. What is the short-term outlook? He's got 30 shares at levels of 745. Kunal?
I would suggest hold and keep a target of almost 775 and a stop loss for that approximately at 710.
Okay, this one is from Sunita Rai. She has 1,000 shares of IDBI Bank which purchased at 41 rupees per share. Should I hold or book profits? Please help. What's your take, Saurabh?
I think she should hold. She should book profit and buy SBI.
Okay, Ashwini Kumar is writing in. Power Grid is the stock, bought at levels of 192. Hold or sell? Kunal, what's the view on the charts?
Well, you can look to hold. I believe if the power breakout remains over the next 1 or 2 weeks, you could look at maybe a 225 as a potential target for Power Grid.
Okay, this one is from Shashwati Chowdhury, holding Nelco at 540 rupees per share. Should I hold, book profits, hold or add? What's your take, Kunal? Nelco is the stock.
So, maybe trail your stop losses. Don't book out full profits over here, but I think the stock is at 830. Keep a trailing stop loss of 800 or maybe 2 days stop loss, 2 days lows of trailing stop loss would be a better strategy.
Kunal, another buzzing stock, 1 year time frame. Kolte Patil is a stock. We've got a question coming in from Surya Narayana in Bengaluru. Would you buy at this rate?
Well, I would recommend a buy at current rate for Kolte Patil. And in fact, if you can probably add a couple of other real estate names like Godrej Properties or Oberoi Realty, that would also add more variety to your portfolio.
Saurabh, this one is for you. This one's from Jayant. He wants to know, is the time right to enter Laurus Laboratories at current market price? Do you think it makes sense to enter right now?
I think it is a good stock to jump in the pharmaceutical sector, and it's showing its own progress. I mean, it makes sense to go in.
Okay. It's lovely that some of you are giving us suggestions. We will definitely look to implement some of them. We're at the end of this query segment though. Thank you so much to everybody who participated. If we didn't get your answer, well, do have a little bit of patience with us. We'll be back tomorrow to take more questions. But Kunal and Saurabh, thank you so much for your patience and for your time. Thank you so much for joining us. On that note, we're taking a short break and we'll be back on the other side with a lot more.